On them all. He's whacked 12 of his competitors out of there. He is a guy who brings a lot to the dance, and he's getting better every time out.
Next to the word prospect in the dictionary, you might find Rudy Zavala's photo. This 23-year-old is 14-0 and on a serious roll. Helio Dominguez was one of his 12 knockout victims. It was the right hand that got him. The Zavala left started the downfall of Virgilio Opinio. Then combinations would end it in the 6th. An excellent performance by Zavala. Our ESPN cameras captured this win over Lee Cargill in Bozeman, Montana. In his first fight out of his native California, Rudy didn't miss a beat. The 5th round became a disaster for Cargill, and Rudy showed the versatility of his attack. He expects tougher competition tonight against Tommy Valdez.
Well, and just as Rudy Zavala describes the word prospect, perhaps Tommy Valdez describes the word journeyman. He has been around the block a few times, been in there with some tough guys, and he himself is a tough guy. And Zavala, oddly enough, Al, the first one in the ring. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, that you would think it would be, and the Tommy Valdez making him wait a little bit. But here he comes now, heading into the ring. And Tommy, a tough guy, but he will be facing, as we have shown you, a great fighter, or potentially great fighter in Zavala.
Both these guys who can get you out of there, and you might say the same thing about Tommy Valdez. He did not have great success against Rafael Ruelas, although early in the fight, as we see here, did some pretty good work.
Yeah, he really did. He's an aggressive boxer who, when he gets inside like this, even especially against a boxer like Ruelas, who has the long reach, he can do some good work.
So it'll be Zavala and Valdez. We, of course, are in the state of Nevada, thereby governed by Nevada rules. See that? Deduction.
You know that immediately. The 3 knockdown rule in effect, no standing 8. The referee can stop it. Winner gets 10, the loser 9 or less. The judges figure in the scoring, not the ref, and he can be saved by the bell only in the last round here.
So one thing about it, these two will fight. There's no question about it. Not a lot of dancing here. To meet him, here's Michael Buffett.
Ladies and gentlemen, season's greetings from the Hacienda Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight Mr. Bob Arum's Top Rank Boxing presents professional boxing for your entertainment. These are presented in association with the undefeated king of beer, Budweiser. All the bouts tonight are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things started with the 10-round bout. This is in the junior featherweight division. The referee for this first bout is Jay Nady. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks and weighing in at an even 124 pounds, from Los Angeles, California. His professional record, 25 victories, 21 by KO, against 10 defeats and 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Valdez. And across the ring in the blue corner, his opponent, wearing the white trunks with red trim and weighing an even 123 pounds, from Costa Mesa, California. His professional record, undefeated, 14-0, 12 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, Rudy Zavala.
Instructions in the dressing room. Do you have any questions? Be sure and keep your heads back. Punches up. Good luck. Let's go to work.
And there was a look at Tommy Valdez. Valdez is a guy really who subscribes to the kill or be killed attitude, I think. Since 1989, 6 knockouts, and he himself has been knocked out 6 times.
And that man, Zavala, knows that he will be coming to him, and he told us this morning at the weigh-in, I'm happy about that. I would like to have a war with him.
So we'll see. Should be a pretty good stepping stone for Rudy Zavala. Nice combination. That staggered Zavala. And Valdez right on top of him. Zavala is still stunned by all of that. Tries to cover up. He is still in some trouble.
Right out of there.
Well, we talked about Valdez being aggressive, and my, he did it right away. Zavala said, I want a war, but I don't know that he wanted this.
Now the owner scores a good right hand by Zavala.
And that really stopped Valdez in his tracks. Tommy Valdez forgot to read the Zavala press clippings, didn't he? This one will not be for the faint of heart, huh?
There was another good left hand by Valdez. Well, we said there wouldn't be much dancing, and we've been right on that score so far.
I think tonight in our 2 main bouts, you're going to get a lot of this with Buck Smith and Robert Wangilo, the same deal. They're going to be in there winging at each other.
Valdez did go 10 rounds in his last fight. That was a win over Mario Gomez down in Hermosillo, Mexico.
He a decision. How crazy.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Another good left hand and a right hand behind it. Good round for Valdez.
Well, Zavala said he has been working on his defense. It's the main thing he feels he needs to work on, and good evidence of that here in this first round with Valdez landing lots of shots and big ones. And what do you think? This is the town in which odds are everything. What are the odds this will go the distance?
Slim and none, I suppose.
Valdez able to get that lead right hand in almost at Wilbury. I mean, it's really surprising against Zavala. Zavala, of course, who has a good right, but is showing us an excellent left hook also. If I were Rudy Zavala, I'd want to be in the inside. He's got a much better uppercut in the inside and a little better inside attack.
Zavala also clearly the stronger of the two, although he has been rocked on a couple of occasions by Valdez.
When Tommy Valdez can stay outside, he is more effective. There you see the uppercut by Zavala.
Keep your head back.
See, the overhand right from a distance for Valdez is a good weapon.
Got there right off the bat with the first punch of the fight and really stunned Zavala. I'm not sure he's completely recovered yet. End of the first round. Good late round for Zavala. Great early round for Valdez.
Well, the opening moments of this bout, the big left hook from Valdez shocked Zavala.
And I still have the feeling that Zavala was not fully recouped even going back to his corner at the end of the first round.
No, wait, is this a match of two punchers? 36 of Valdez's 41 connects were power shots, not jabs, and all 21 of Zavala's were power shots.
No dancing, no jabbing.
That's true.
Valdez busy to say the least in the first round.
And landing some very good punches among those 41. And there were some solid blows.
There's another right hand that rocked Zavala. And you're absolutely right, Al. When at long range, the edge is clearly to Valdez.
And he's got the height and reach advantage, and he's using his jab better. I mean, even though he didn't land a lot of jab, overhand right over a lazy jab.
And now Zavala backing Valdez up.
Now, Valdez, in my opinion, is now starting to fight Zavala's fight, leaning in like that and giving Zavala a better target with those uppercuts and short left hooks. And now, I'm sorry, Barry, and now the jab's starting to get there for Zavala.
And you made the point earlier, but it's absolutely right that the left hand of Valdez is a little lazy.
And Zavala making him pay with that, of course, with the overhand right. And Zavala has a very good right hand. These are hard shots by Zavala. They're short, they're concise, and they really are, at this point, I think, hurting Valdez. Really a good barometer for Zavala of where he's at. I'm sure Valdez, and I said it to him today, when we were talking with him at the weigh-in, he admitted that Valdez might be the best guy he's fought, and he found that out in the first minute of the bout.
Valdez has been in there against some pretty good opponents. Joe Orewa fought for the IBC title at 122 pounds, lost a 12-round decision.
Rafael Relis, of course, a very talented young man who we've seen on a number of occasions, knocked out in 3 by him, but he's a good boxer. See, these rounds are excellent rounds. Both men doing really good work. Now, in this round, Zavala dominating to a point, but you see Valdez is getting his shots in as well.
Yeah, he's still able to get there with the right hand, but Zavala, the heavier-handed puncher. Close second round, but Rudy Zavala, you have the idea, has his head clear now and is about to go about his business.
The overhead right from Zavala over a very low and lazy left hand. So we talked about it. It was there for Zavala.
Third round, Zavala starting to turn things a little bit in the second round. In the second round, as you can see, Valdez effectiveness dropping off slightly, but Zavala's picking up a great deal, and so too with just the amount of punches he threw.
And a key point about that good uppercut by Zavala is that Zavala landed 21 of 35 jabs in round 2. Valdez 6 of 29. That was one thing Valdez was doing better in the first round.
On your card now, we have an even fight. Valdez the first round, Zavala the second. Valdez starting to loop that right hand a little bit.
Good uppercut by Valdez, and that's a punch that Zavala has been landing. Good work by the referee.
Don't hit and hold, okay?
That's a good warning.
Box.
I think it gave Zavala a breath, too.
Yeah, but it was an appropriate move by Joe.
Let go, let go.
And Zavala now blinking his left eye a little bit. And there's another hold and hit. And Valdez is going to have to stop that. I think there's a cut. They break here and make certain.
You know, for all the world, it looked like Zavala was really starting to take control of this fight in round 2, and yet here in 3, Tommy Valdez has come out very, very strong.
I think he hurt Zavala. There's blood from someplace, and I can't quite tell where. And again, a combination by Valdez. And another right hand lead by Valdez.
He cannot miss Zavala with that right hand. Tommy Valdez came here to put in an excellent performance, and that's what he's doing.
And there is a cut in the left eye of Zavala, and it looks like a pretty bad cut.
And very swollen there also, Barry, from those right hands.
That's going to be a big, big problem for Zavala. Big problem.
Even on the inside now, Valdez doing much better. Oh, that left eye is not good. It could be swelling shut at any moment.
Yeah, very bad. It's cut and swollen. And they're going to have some major work to do. And that is the kind of cut that can stop a fight, for certain.
Tommy Valdez had to lose 2 pounds today at the weigh-in. He was 2 pounds over the limit. We'll see if that has any impact on it. But boy, so far he has performed extremely well.
And Zavala's going to hit the desperation point fairly soon, where he's going to have to throw punches and thus allow himself the possibility of getting careless. Good round for Valdez, and they got to do some big-time work here in the corner of Zavala.
I can see. I can see. I can see what you can do. Yeah, I see. Okay. I understand. Thanks.
Take a look out here. Would you open up and say what is now?
Here, look up here.
Look for a bucket.
Look up. Let the doc look at it.
Yeah, I
That's
see
right
it. I
under
see
there.
it
It's
now.
not up here. It's down there. It's important. Okay.
Couldn't quite understand what it was the doctor said there.
It was very hard to hear, but, you know, there's 2 problems there. There's the cut and there's the swelling.
Seconds out.
This may have been where the cut happened. Clash of heads, although the eye was swollen in any case.
And holding and hitting by Valdez again, too. In that juncture, you just saw the replay. They did do a pretty good job on the eye between rounds. But the swelling is still there. In the third round, Valdez still throwing a lot of punches.
And, you know, it wasn't that Zavala had that bad a round, but just nothing compared to Valdez, who's throwing a lot and landing with a lot of authority. Rudy Zavala, undefeated, coming into this bout. Many people feeling on the verge of even better things. Doesn't mean he still won't get them, but right now, Valdez is showing him what happens when you get in against a good, experienced fighter.
And again, a little blood. There's no question the eye is bothering Valdez. And shots like that, he's not going to see coming. I beg your pardon, Zavala with the cut. That looping right hand by Valdez.
And remember, the right was getting there by Valdez before he had trouble with the eyes, so that, yeah, that's a considerable hindrance.
And again, I don't know if he tripped or was staggered by that shot. Didn't look like that hard a shot.
But we harp on this a lot. When Rudy Zavala jabs, he's a much more effective boxer. He's a power puncher, but he needs to jab. And he's jabbing more in this round and having some better moments because of it.
And now Valdez in trouble.
And I'll tell you, Zavala landing a lot of shots, but still leaving himself wide open when he does it.
Valdez still sticking the uppercut in there.
Rudy Zavala has got to be more careful when he gets a guy hurt. He's leaving himself wide open every time.
Cut, but he took a couple back.
They are both landing huge shots now. The connect percentages here have got to be good in this round. They are landing a lot. Very tough round to score, too. It sounds like I'm giving the punch profile guys instructions. Now I'm telling you guys a lot of punches are landing, and I mean that.
And they're not in their head. No,
It's like, no, you stick to calling the fight, we'll stick to calling the punches. Wow, 4-punch combination by Zavala. And there's some swelling around his right eye now, Rudy Zavala. This is an extraordinarily good bout.
Let go.
Valdez again toying with hitting and holding. And J80 again. Good move. Valdez opens up, or rather Zavala opens up Valdez once again. End of the 4th round. Great fight. We'll be back.
Panasonic presents a new breed of smooth operator. The new Smooth Operator rechargeable razor unites the old-fashioned closeness of a warm, wet shave with the convenience and no-nick comfort of an electric. Don't try this with any plugged-in razor. Smooth Operator wet-dry razors from Panasonic. Smoother than you ever thought you'd be.
Rudy Zavala had Valdez against the ropes. Lands very effectively, but you can see how wide open he is. Valdez not able to counter him, but that could get Rudy Zavala in trouble in the future if he leaves himself that open when he's got a man in trouble.
Zavala right now seems the stronger of the two, despite the fact that he is more marked.
You know, this is an odd fight. Each man is winning alternate rounds. They're alternating winning rounds and winning them big, but Zavala coming out so strong here in the 5th.
Really opening Valdez up early. In Zavala's corner, incidentally, they were saying, you're working the jab pretty good. Keep working the jab.
And I think that is a key for him.
Valdez starting to breathe through his mouth a little bit, which is indicative of a tired fighter.
And as we would remind you, he did have to lose weight this morning at the weigh-in.
Came to look at the eye in Zavala's corner between rounds 2, and Zavala said it's no worse. I didn't get hit on it in the last round. Valdez trying to work the uppercut, but he's absorbing far more than he's giving in this round so far.
You know, when either man has used the jab effectively, and in this round it's Zavala, they've really taken control of the round. Excellent body work by Zavala.
And an uppercut.
And on the inside, Rudy is pretty much the boss. And there it is again, the uppercut. He's hurting Valdez with it now.
Overhand right.
He's got Valdez in trouble,
Yes,
Barry.
Valdez is hurt.
And Tommy, I mean, he has landed some huge shots here. So at this point, he's probably thinking to himself, I may have hit this guy with my best shots, and he's still here. Leaning in is about the worst mistake at this point that Valdez can make, but he's tired.
Yeah, Valdez's legs just don't seem to be the same. And again in trouble. Double left hand and a right hand behind it by Zavala. Keeps him pinned on the ropes.
Well, if if Rudy Zavala wins this bout, they will learn several things from it. One, yes, some work is still needed on the defense. And two, he's got the wherewithal to come back, if in fact he were to do that.
Valdez still showing a little bit of zip. His legs just don't seem the same to me now.
No, and his punches are not quite as hard as they were before.
End of round number 5. Much better round, rather dominant round, in fact, for Zavala. Well, a reminder that for basketball fans, you're going to get all you want this Saturday, a quadruple header. We got underway 2:30 Eastern time. Great game here, Indiana and St. John's. Two well-coached teams, of course, Bobby Knight and Louis Carnesecca. Ohio State, I saw them last night. Excellent basketball team. They play Southern California with one of the more dominant players, Harold Miner. Two great players, Jimmy Jackson and Harold Miner in that game. Then at 9:30 Eastern time, Kentucky and Georgia Tech.
Fight, I'll tell you.
Cheap promotion.
That's funny. I like that. That's okay. Mike White could play power forward for a couple of those basketball teams.
He's a big lad, isn't he? Meanwhile, we start the 6th round of what has been an excellent fight. Tide seems to have turned a little bit, however, for Rudy Zavala. The eye is no worse than it was in the 3rd round, significantly also.
Watch your head, Tommy.
In the 6th round, and you can see Valdez going one way, Zavala going the other.
That's an excellent percentage for Zavala, and I think a lot of it is because he did use the jab better. Good uppercut, but Valdez has landed his own uppercut very well in this bout, Barry, and against somebody else, he might have had a knockout win already. But let's give Rudy Zavala credit for being tough. A young man tested early and has come back.
Yeah, now he owns the fight right at the moment. Valdez a lot more off balance with his punches, and again, I think it starts and ends with the legs.
Valdez appears to want to box a little bit, just doesn't have the legs to do it. And Zavala doing a good job of going to the body as well. Nice body work by Valdez. That was an excellent left hook downstairs. So Tommy still has something in his punches, just not as sharp as he was early. Now Zavala has only been into the 6th round one time before. That was in March of this year when he beat Alvaro Medel in the Forum, knocked him out in 6. And Valdez has certainly gone 10 rounds before, as we've chronicled. His last fight, as you mentioned, against Mario Gomez, he went 10 rounds. But he probably didn't do that having to lose 2 pounds at the weigh-in or after the weigh-in.
It's tough. Valdez had an interesting career. He fought once in 1984, took 85 and 86 off, fought once in 87, took 88 off, and has been active ever since.
His 7th fight of this year.
Keep your head back.
Zavala has slowed his pace here. Still doing better, but he has slowed his pace to the point where he's not as active as he was.
And Valdez looks like he's trying to load up a little bit more. Big uppercut by Zavala. Good body work by Zavala. Heading for the end of the 6th round, and again, it is Rudy Zavala who now is beginning to take charge.
Well, Rudy Zavala has found this weapon, and that's a hard left jab, and that jab has been setting up a lot of things in the last few rounds.
Zavala picking up right where he left off here in the 7th round.
And how many punches would you say, Barry, that Valdez landed in that last round?
I would say Valdez in that last round, Al, landed 11 punches.
And you knew that. You saw this card. Did you guess that?
Now,
unbelievable. That is exactly the number he landed.
I'll ask Dan Ormsby sitting alongside me. Dan knows I'm honest as the day is long. Did I look at that card, Dan? Dan is nodding his head in some direction.
Dan says no. Very impressive, Barry. 11 punches.
We're looking at junior featherweights. Rudy Zavala Tommy Valdez. We are in the 7th round right now. Valdez had Zavala in big trouble early in this fight. Zavala's eye swelled and was cut in the 3rd round. It has gotten no worse. In fact, if anything, it's in better shape now than it was in Zavala. As a result of that, has taken charge of the fight. Right now, it appears to be a rather one-sided fight for Zavala.
And to say they did a remarkable job with both the cut and the swelling in Zavala's corner is amazing. There's Zavala winning. I've got him ahead by 2 points.
Stop. Right.
And that is, isn't that funny? I'm looking at that, and I know that scoring is right, and it feels like more, but it isn't, because 2 of those rounds for sure were won by Valdez. And it is accurate.
So, for all intent, the fight is still there if Valdez can muster something that hasn't been there for the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. The 2 rounds Valdez won in this bout, he won clearly. So, it would be very, very unlikely that anybody should take that away from him.
There was the uppercut again.
He's boxing a little more. If he could box from the outside here, and remember, Zavala has never seen the likes of the 7th round. So maybe he could be a little tired, and he's been
Big right hand.
There's the outside again. Valdez throwing good combinations now. So Tommy finding a clue. Excellent uppercut, too.
Now, Valdez might have found something here. Might have taken a couple rounds off.
Still shouldn't be leaning in. He's doing pretty well on the inside, but there is where Valdez should be. The jab straight right. That's the answer for him from the outside. He might still close that eye. The lead right hand could be a big weapon for Valdez. This is a close round, a pivotal round as well. If Valdez could have won this one, it would really help.
And he might have.
Stop.
He's had a pretty good round.
Don't hold with his hand, okay? Box.
Valdez still needs to finish with something here. And a 7.
Imagine being born with the ability to meet any challenge expertly. That's the wonder of the new Maxim XI from Otra. With the experience of professionals programmed right in, it responds to any change of speed, or light, or distance automatically for ultimate performance. Give the new Maxim XI, born experienced.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
The uppercut's been a big weapon for both men, and there, Tommy Valdez in the last round, landing his own.
The 8th round, and you really do have the sense that this fight is still there to be had for either fighter. Zavala looked as though he was really taking control of it, but in the last round, Valdez seemingly did a better job, got a little bit more done, and likely won the fight. Let's take a look at the numbers from the 7th round.
And there you see Valdez with a slight edge, and that's going to be a very pivotal round, because if the judges end up scoring that one for Zavala, he could be far enough ahead where Valdez may not be able to get back in it. But if they did as I did and scored it for Valdez, it's extremely close.
Right hand by Zavala.
Stop.
Zavala picking the pace up a little bit here in the 8th round.
In this bout, one thing that has not been, excellent uppercut, has been done has helped. Jay Nady has warned a couple of times Valdez for holding and hitting, but he has not taken a point to win, I think, appropriately enough. Some overzealous referee could have really influenced this bout where he didn't need.
2 right hands, and a 3rd right hand has Valdez in a bit of trouble, and another right hand drives him out of there.
And the interesting thing is he landed his own shots in that exchange, and they just didn't drive Zavala back. Tough guy, Tommy Valdez.
Very good opponent and a very good test for Zavala, win or lose.
Let's go.
go there.
This is an example of two guys who have power hitting the opponent, the other guy with their best power shots, and the guy doesn't go. And so you're forced to rely on all your skills. That's what they're doing. This has been
Zavala starting to take control a little bit again.
This has been a round in which Rudy Zavala has gotten back to landing the uppercut. He's gotten back to working on the inside. Has not been at the end of all of Valdez's punches, though there, Tommy Valdez landed 3 good ones.
There is still a little snap in Valdez's punches, even though it doesn't look like his legs are there, but he still manages to turn the punch over.
He is not out of this bout, even at this juncture, with probably losing this round. He may be down a couple rounds or possibly more, but he's not out of this at all.
Valdez getting the better of that exchange. So the end of the 8th round, and a reminder, football coming your way Sunday. We get underway with game day. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Robin Roberts. Then it's NFL prime time at 7 o'clock Eastern time with that great cast. Then the game itself. 8 o'clock we get underway. Our last game of the season, the Rams and the Seahawks. The last game for John Robinson, one of the game's nice guys, stepping down in Los Angeles. Interestingly enough, one of the rumors in the LA Times this morning was that perhaps Chuck Knox might be coming on back. And he, of course, is the coach in Seattle. Who is that fellow? Max Sager. I started to say Singer. Max Sager.
Son of this gentleman, our one of our fine cameramen, Cordy Sager. He looked like he was enjoying the boxing action there, huh?
Yeah, he did.
I kind of saw him talking to his mom, disputing a couple things he thought we said.
Yeah, I think that's right. How does he get an ESPN sweatshirt?
I've never had one my whole life. There you look at the numbers. Zavala taking control. And even though he's got a fairly big margin in the number of punches, as we said, in terms of rounds, he doesn't have to be that far behind.
Zavala jumping on Valdez again.
My ESPN goodie basket in the mail today from our executives for Christmas.
You did, huh?
I guess you didn't, huh? They always did like me best. All right, so anyway, so here we are with my card showing that Zavala has forged ahead on a 2-point lead after Valdez had made it closer.
You did, huh?
Yeah, well, sure it's waiting at home for you, Don't worry. They love you at ESPN.
You're great. Just finished the dried fruit from last year. Problem is when they sent it, it was fresh fruit.
There's Zavala on the inside. Again, that uppercut. This is the punch I think that is turning the fight around. It is now for Zavala.
Halfway through the 9th round, and Zavala now again starting to take charge of this fight, but it's had a lot of ebb and flow.
And the difference really is just there. On the inside, Rudy Zavala has been the boss. He has been the man who has had more punches like that. The hooks to the body, the uppercut has been a tremendous weapon. If Valdez could have kept him on the outside and the end of his punches more, he might well be right in this bout.
Really good test for Rudy Zavala. Telling himself something about himself too, and that he can go this far and still have something left.
Body shots hurting Valdez.
Yeah, Valdez in big trouble now. I think he was hurt by that more than any punch in a fight.
And give Tommy Valdez credit. He came right out to win this bout and did hurt Zavala early and hung in there himself. Has hung in there despite getting nailed with some big shots.
Valdez now hurt and tired. Does not have a lot left.
Let go, let go.
Again, and the uppercut. Boy, it's redundant to talk about it, but Zavala has been so effective with that punch.
Actually, both men doing good work with the uppercut throughout this fight. Zavala's heavier and a little bit more frequent, and that's the difference. Sorry.
That's okay.
You talk about this.
I can't. Rudy Zavala landing some huge right hands and comes right out in this round. Doing the same, he's got him in big trouble.
And this one is just about over.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm not sure this one should continue.
Yes,
That's it. Well, they didn't have much left at the end of the ninth. Zavala jumped right on him to start the 10th round. And will not leave it in the hands of the judge.
This is one of those bouts in which you could run out of nice things to say about both men. Rudy Zavala, you look at him, a young man who was hurt early, and I mean hurt, and came back from that adversity to perform extremely well. And on the other side, Tommy Valdez finally succumbs in this round, but after performing extremely well and after coming here to win what for him is a very important bout.
Really speaks to what Zavala is made of, though, to win it in the final round as he did.
He comes on here with landing good overhand rights. And really, the right hand is his big power punch, but he had probably done better work with the left hook and the uppercuts. And here we see Valdez reeling, and it was just as well. And I'm glad that last punch didn't land when Valdez was going down. And there you see Tommy Valdez, who gets his 11th loss, but I'll tell you what, he really performed very well.
Gave it a real shot. Had a chance to win the fight. But by the same token, you could say the better man won. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jay Nady reaches the count of 10 at 24 seconds of the 10th and final round. The winner by knockout victory, his record now 15-0 with 13 KOs. From Costa Mesa, California, Rudy Zavala.
So Rudy Zavala is a winner, and he had to come from behind and suck it up to be a winner. He knocks out a tough Tommy Valdez in the 10th and final round.